And we're back with more BattleTech. Now, I am super excited for this one, because judging from the thumbnail, this is probably the coolest looking mech in the entire series. Of course, as always, I encourage you before watching this reaction video to go and like the OG video. Link to that is always at the top of the description. But without further ado, let's get right into it.
In the world and setting of BattleTech, there are many glorious and truly mighty machines of war.
Truly.
And then, well, there's the Urbanmech.
What? What? No! Why would you introduce it like that? Obviously, it's incredible. It must be awesome and marvelous, just like all the other techs. Did I just say techs? I meant mechs.
But, well, it's what you wanted, so I guess we're going with that.
Let's see it.
Well, got to be honest, the Urbanmech is probably one of the most beloved mechs for two reasons we'll get.
Probably for the meme value. Also, I was trying to analyze like the mech designs and whatnot for use in warfare. I don't know if this is true for all of them, but it seems to be the general gist that I got from the comments was that mech designs are purely for aesthetic purposes and not really anything practical, which makes sense. It's a tabletop game, yeah. You want your models to look really cool, so fair enough.
Get into. Firstly, it's a unique mech with a very narrowly defined purpose. It's a fantastically designed, dedicated combat platform for militia or planetary defense forces. It's also a rather good buy at 1.4 million C-bills for a 30-ton mech, making it an attractive, affordable choice for people who are building an army on a budget.
You know what this model reminds me of? I don't know exactly what it was called. I think it was from Apple. Like, there was some sort of computer charging station fan, something like that looked a lot like a trash can. And it was incredibly expensive, as most Apple products are, but it made me think of that.
An army that doesn't mind being very, very, very slow. Secondly,
how slow?
Well, there's the memes. Oh god, the memes. Fuck it, let's just roll through these. Look, there's memes. Here's more memes. More memes, memes. If you look for BattleTech memes or even do an image search on BattleTech,
it's mostly
there's going to be a lot of Urbanmech-centered content. You see, the Urbanmech is like a pug. Derpy, small.
Okay, let me actually read this. Tabletops will become ruled by Warhammer 40k? Oh no, a bleak and grim dark future indeed.
All and full of character. But hell, I suppose I had to give it the full Tech Stocks BattleTech treatment, so buckle up. Here we go. In 2675, Orgus Industries designed and developed the Urbanmech to be a cheap, easily produced mech for urban combat and defense. The marketing goal was to have this mech sold to the Starlink Defense Force for the purpose of urban defense. It should be noted that this was Orgus Industries' first and only BattleMech design. As a relative outsider to the manufacturer of BattleMechs, Orgus decided to do things their way and build something pretty damn unique in the process. From 2675 until the destruction of its assembly lines in 2837, the sole builder was Orgus's Marcus facility, after which manufacture was picked up and or stolen by the industrial powerhouse Hellespont Industrials and the Capellan Confederation, which was still mass manufacturing the little bastard until 3081.
You're really gonna refer to it like that, eh? My mind just really wants to take a look at the design and then think of like why exactly this thing is good for urban combat specifically. Not that, you know, it's just cheaply produced and you can just mass produce it. The size, maybe the weight, but yeah, I've probably gotta stop doing that.
It should be noted that the Urbanmech, for all of its strangeness, was fondly received by militia and the planetary defense commands, and found a place in the SLDF, every successor state, and many pirate and mercenary orders.
Nice.
Let's go on to see what makes an Urbanmech an Urbanmech. The Urbanmech is designed around the Republic R chassis, which is unique to, you guessed it, the Urbanmech. In fact, everything Orgus ever made was pretty much linked to the Urbanmech program. At 30 tons and carrying 6 tons of armor, which is respectable considering that all armor is concentrated in a very small, squat, ugly, stupid trash can. I mean, professional mechwards, yes. For its size, the Urbanmech is also jump capable. It has 11 heat sinks, and the base model of the UM-R60 carries an AC-10 autocannon and a small laser. The only downside to this little bastard is that it is slow.
Like how slow?
Slow? Well, assault mechs tend to tread forward at a modest 40 to 50 kph or so. The Urbanmech flat out does 32. Which doesn't sound like a whole lot. That's because it isn't. However, the Urbanmech is designed for one purpose: city fighting. In a city, the Urbanmech doesn't need to go fast, it just needs to creep and hop along, get in position,
just needs to get around the corner,
deliver a nasty knockdown blow to any invader. And in that role is where it excels. Also to note is that the Urbanmech has very few interesting design quirks that keeps it engaged with and win against much tougher opponents in that setting. Firstly, the Urbanmech is a low-profile mech, meaning it's a lot harder to hit. Secondly, it has an extended torso twist arc, enabling it to fight while facing any direction it pleases and trundling along.
Oh, okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Considering it's for urban combat, you definitely want to be mobile in the sense of being able to fight in all directions. And the speed decision makes a whole lot of sense because you're not going to be going super fast in a straight line. I'm not sure exactly what the autocannon and the laser, like how they're going to hold up in terms of firepower versus other mechs. But does that mean they're like tiny little gremlins just slowly walking along in the city? You're just strutting along in your assault mech and then you randomly just get blasted out of nowhere because you didn't notice the tiny little guy on the side there? Like, is that something that would happen? Or are there shots just kind of tickling, like, the bigger mechs? I would expect not, considering that they did find it useful in actual combat. Or it might be that, like, it doesn't do much major damage on its own, but they kind of can mass produce it, so it's a term of quantity over quality.
Being in production for a very long time leads the Urbanmech to having loads of variants. Because when an opponent automatically assumes an Urbanmech is an unimaginative weapon system, somebody will modify it to surprise the hell out of them.
Oh yeah, 100%. Why wouldn't you? The moment the enemy thinks that they've won is the moment when they are weakest. It is then we must strike. And wouldn't it be perfect that this unassuming small little trash can is the one that overthrows your entire army? That would make for such a great story that, like, your grandkids' grandchildren will probably hear about it.
Here are a few notable examples. The UM-R60L replaces the AC-10 with an AC-20. Because what's funnier than a trash can that cores an assault mech in a surprise attack?
Hey,
the UM-R63 upgrades the aging Urbanmech with Lost Tech, giving it an LBX autocannon 10 and a small laser that pulses. The Draconis Combine interestingly upgraded the Urbanmech with the UM-R68, which replaced all weapons with an MRM-30, which surprised the living hell out of Clan Ghost Bear. UM-R70 incorporates a rotary autocannon 5 because somebody probably found it to be hilarious, and nobody in the Federated Sun stopped them.
Why is it that, like, basically every modification to the Urbanmech is based on, like, wow, you know what would be really funny? I could just imagine commanders, like, or mech designers just, like, sitting in a group together, drinking a couple of beers, and then being like, hey guys, I just got the funniest idea. That's probably how all this happens. And if it doesn't, well, that's my headcanon now.
The UM-A4 replaces all weaponry with an Arrow 4 and an ER medium laser. It also squeezes the pilot into a modified smaller trash can cockpit something or other, and can barely carry 10 rounds of ammunition. But hey, it's now walking artillery for city fighting, because why not? In summation, The Urbanmech is an often overlooked, severely meme-worthy mech of note because it is actually very effective in a very small niche. It loves to surprise bad dudes many times its size, and it is insanely affordable.
Yeah, I could imagine these things being an absolute menace. They would probably show up in the BattleTech video game, and obviously in urban environments. And because of the weaponry that you can outfit it with, you can't even call them chaff units. This might be a pretty niche reference, especially if you're specifically only in the BattleTech community. But what this makes me think of are the Zangors in Space Marine 2 before the nerfs to Chaos. Because those guys were an absolute menace despite being meant as a chaff unit, but they could deal some damage and take some hits.
There, I covered it. Are you happy now, Gah? Let us Guardian make the credits happen. Kill me.
So now I know about the trash can mech that you guys have been talking about in the comments. From this bit of information that we got here, to me, it seems almost like it's a bunker. Like, I'm imagining like a World War II bunker or something. But just on legs. And honestly, because of how cheap it is and how it can be mass-produced and whatnot, I feel like it's a pretty effective means of defense for really any city to have, despite how it may look. I don't know. I could be completely wrong here, though, and I would love to see these things in action someday. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me, my dudes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.